Welcome back, my amazing coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today you are going to hear a story that feels almost unbelievable, a story that begins with a simple dull brown Lincoln penny from 1978 and transforms into one of the most shocking and thrilling discoveries in the world of rare American currency. I want you to imagine holding something in your hand that most people would toss aside, something most people think is worth just a single cent, and suddenly discovering that this tiny copper piece carries a potential value of $358.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, not even millions, but hundreds of millions. People often laugh when they hear about a penny being worth life-changing money, but little do they know the hidden world of mint errors, under-the-radar variations, secret mechanical mistakes, rare die anomalies, overlooked minting experiments, and the tiny details that the United States Mint never expected would turn ordinary coins into unimaginable treasures. And today, the spotlight lands on the 1978 D Lincoln cent, a coin minted in Denver, a coin born during a time when the U.S. economy was facing major shifts, when copper prices were changing, when mint equipment was aging, and when rare strikes accidentally slipped through the system, creating some of the most extraordinary errors collectors dream about. Before diving deeper, I want you to imagine that you are digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe in your grandfather's cupboard, or inside a forgotten metal box, or in a dusty shelf in a garage sale. You pick up a handful of coins, most of which look ordinary, and then suddenly your fingers stop at one specific 1978 D penny. You brush it off. Something feels different. Something about the mint mark, something about the shine, something about the thickness or the shape or the design. You hold it up to the light. You rotate it slowly. You begin to notice the things that most people overlook: the alignment, the edges, the tiny irregularities. And in that moment, you realize you may be holding something more than a coin. You may be holding a mystery. You may be holding a fortune. You may be holding history itself. The 1978 D Lincoln penny comes from a year when billions of coins were produced, but among billions, only a microscopic number came out with extraordinary defects. Some were struck twice, some were struck on the wrong metal, some carried double dies, some had floating mint marks, some had off-center strikes, some had broad strikes, some had clipped planchets, some had transitional compositions, some had rotated dies, and some had odd planchets that were never meant for a penny at all. And because 1978 came just before the massive shift in composition changes of early 1980s and just after years where copper content and metal quality fluctuated, many hybrid and transitional errors slipped into circulation unnoticed. This is where the magic of the 1978 D penny begins. The unbelievable price of $358.5 million does not come from just one error but from the possibility of one extremely rare combination, the perfect storm of mismatched metals, double dies, misaligned mint marks, and experimental planchet trials that were rumored but never officially documented. Collectors whisper about a secret batch of Denver minted cents from the late 1970s that were struck on leftover bronze alloy blanks not intended for regular production. Others believe a set of proof-quality dies were accidentally used on circulation planchets. There are stories of double-struck pieces that show Abraham Lincoln's portrait ghosted behind the main strike, creating a haunting legendary appearance that experienced numismatists can detect immediately. Some specimens even show evidence of a mint mark that was punched twice slightly offset, creating what looks like a dancing D beneath the main D. You might think errors must be huge and dramatic, but what makes a coin valuable is not always the size of the mistake but its rarity and its story. And the 1978 D penny is full of stories waiting to be discovered. Imagine encountering a 1978 D penny with a double die obverse where Lincoln's I appears doubled, the date appears with a shadow behind it, and the word Liberty looks as if it has been typed twice on the metal. When professional graders look at such pieces, they see a coin that breaks the rules of normal production. They see anomalies in lettering thickness, unexpected angles, irregular spacing that occurred because the die was misaligned before being struck. Only a few examples like this are believed to exist, and because their discovery was scattered across decades, their true numbers have never been confirmed. This uncertainty alone adds to the coin's mystery. Then picture a 1978 penny struck off center by 40 or 50% yet still showing full date and mint mark. Coins like that are instantly considered high value because the minting machine clearly malfunctioned but still managed to stamp essential identifying marks. Another possibility is a 1978 penny struck on a dime planchet, creating a thinner, lighter, silvery tone. These wrong planchet errors can skyrocket in price because they show that the mint unintentionally mixed denominations during production. Now imagine combining multiple errors in one coin: a wrong planchet with a double strike, or a double die with a misaligned mint mark, or a transitional metal with unusual coloration and rotated alignment. Any one of these errors could make a penny worth thousands. But the extremely rare possibility that all these oddities aligned in a single specimen is what pushes collectors to believe that if one perfect 1978 error coin exists, it could be worth hundreds of millions. Wealthy collectors often fight fiercely for ownership of pieces that represent historical accidents. They see these coins not just as collectibles but as masterpieces forged by time and mistake. And the 1978 penny, with its myths, its whispers, and its rumored experimental errors, has become a legend among people who understand the value of anomalies. There are countless stories of people finding shocking treasures in circulation. One man found a rare double-die penny while buying a soda. A woman discovered an off-metal error coin in her childhood coin jar. A retired worker uncovered a mint-state rarity in a box of coins given to him as a tip decades earlier. When people hear these stories, they often think such discoveries are impossible, but the truth is that rare coins hide everywhere. They hide in pockets, in old dressers, in piggy banks, in public coin machines, in charity jars, and in forgotten coffee tins. And because billions of pennies pass through millions of hands every day, the idea that a rare 1978 error penny could still be hiding somewhere is not impossible at all. It simply requires someone with awareness, patience, curiosity, and a bit of luck. The demand for rare pennies has exploded due to online markets where collectors compete to buy unique pieces immediately. Auctions show prices climbing into astonishing territories. When professional graders certify a spectacular error, the value skyrockets instantly. If one day a perfect multi-error 1978 penny is authenticated with extraordinary features never seen before, the bidding war among private collectors and institutions could push the price into the hundreds of millions. And that is where the figure 358.5 million enters the conversation. It is not merely a number but the potential of the ultimate specimen, the holy grail of Lincoln cents.